Tell me, for people out there listening, give me like a brief little background on like who you are, where you came from, and what you do. Like, what are you all about?
So basically,
get a little bit close. Yeah.
So basically, I'm from Jersey originally.
Yeah.
Perth Amboy, real close to Elizabeth, Newark, around that area. And what I do is I just buy and sell anything, but mostly real estate, vintage cards, baseball cards, stuff like that, jewelry, watches, anything that has a liquid value. So growing up, I was born in 1970. My uncle used to own hardware stores, liquor stores. So I was always brought up in the grind.
A bit closer.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in reality, there's really no money in school. And back in those days, back in '76, Carter was the president. We had a gasoline shortage. The interest rates were like 20%. So the only way to make money was to have cash, just like today. But the world's changed a little bit. But so the buying and selling game is where the money's at. So that being said, I moved out here in I would say like 1989, 1990. I had to get out of Jersey because it was just nothing but trouble. So when I came here, my first job actually was I was a custodian at a high school in Brandon, making $6 an hour, walking 7-8 miles a day to go to work. It was my favorite time of my life, the grind. So then I bought a little flea market booth in Sefner, Florida, baseball cards from this lady for $2,000. Within 2-3 months, just kept stacking my bread, had about 30,000. I went to Tampa, I bought a little baseball card shop in Fiesta Plaza. Then I started hitting the country, going to the big shows, buying, selling. I've always been a big sports fan. And then in the meantime, I would only work maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, do the grind. And then, I'd meet people, buy their collections, just buy out their tables. And then one thing led to another, and then you just deal with different businesses, jewelry stores, pawn shops, furniture, bail bonds, real estate. And real estate's a good hustle because it has a lot of zeros at the end. So if you buy something, let's say you buy a pair of sneakers for $500 and you sell them for $800. Sounds cool. You're only making $300. What are you going to do with $300?
Right.
You buy a house for $100,000, you flip it for $130, you just made 30 G's. So the bottom line is, to make money, you just got to be well-versed, well-rounded, and you got to be able to pull that trigger immediately. Because in any game, nobody wants to deal with a procrastinator. It's either you're in or you're out. There's really no in between.
Bro, when I first met you, I think it was like yesterday. It was 2 days ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You reminded me instantly of like you were like just Tony Soprano to me. Like you're so much energy. You hustle. Your hands are in so many different things, so many different types of businesses. You have sneaker stores scattered throughout the state. You have a warehouse full of trading cards. Like how much money worth of trading like baseball cards and basketball cards do you have?
So let's get back to the beginning where your question, like the sneaker store.
Yeah.
That belongs to a friend of mine, and I was like involved in the beginning, and I still am a little involved. It's a slower paced, fast paced game. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Then we'll get to the cards. It's a hustle, it's a grind, and you're making $50, $60 a pair. You got to push a lot of pairs. You got to do a lot of work. You got to pay high rents, and it's just it's a good game for somebody who's looking to make $1 million a year. You know what I mean? I still work with the same people, but the trading card, the baseball cards, that's a hustle I like. But to answer your question, the value of what I have, several million, but I constantly buy and sell every day. The baseball card game is something that's really come up a lot because it's an asset without a paper trail, and everybody's interested in it. Like I was telling you, it's sort of like artwork, but on a different level because everybody knows about sports and everybody wants to get involved.
What's the number one most valuable card that you own?
I own some PSA Jordan 10 rookie cards. They were bringing like $750,000 to $800,000. They've cooled off a little bit to about $400,000 to $500,000, basically because, it's a new asset class that the smart money's coming into. But I have 1988 Flair basketball. I probably have 800 graded packs. The 10s are 3,000-4,000 each. But I have a lot of different stuff, from Mickey Mantle to Ty Cobb to Babe Ruth to Jordan. I don't really do much with the newer stuff because they're very volatile, and I'm not interested in losing money.
And you do all these transactions on eBay with the cards?
Yeah, we'll buy collections. You know, a guy called me up, hey, I got this collection, 1957 Topps baseball set. Just use that as an example. So we look at what they have. Okay, cool. We just add it up, figure it out, and just buy it from them. Then we get the cards graded. We'll just, whatever we do with it, you just crack the collections down. That's what I did for numerous years. I used to travel the country, spend a few thousand, buy, 100,000 here, 200,000 there, get some graded, wholesale, some retail. It's just a fast-paced business.
Are you going to buy or sell any cards today? Like, is this a daily thing you do?
Yeah, daily.
Are you like riding the market day to day? Or are there any cards, any things that you hold out on long term?
Definitely. Like, the best cards to hold are the vintage cards. Like, you want to buy stuff that's going to go up in value based on the story of the player. Like, let me give you an example. Babe Ruth. He's probably the greatest baseball player ever to play the game. Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of people that are looking for that card, and there's more collectors than product. So the grading companies grade from a scale of 1 to 10, and then they have a population report of how many cards have been slabbed in certain grade. Like, I buy cards now. Let's take an example, for $10,000 that I sold for $1,000 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. So you want to buy the old cards, and the newer cards, they have a lot of hype because a lot of young people who are flipping crypto and making money in the stock market, this is what they're seeing. But at the same time, when you're spending $300,000-$400,000 on a card of a guy who's been in the league 3 years, you don't really know the outcome of his career. So you're basically making a bet. Like me, I don't make bets. If it's not a guarantee, I just don't want to deal with it.
Right. That makes sense.
I get in the product cheap. I try to buy as many as I can, and the more I buy, the more they're worth, because I'm the one that's going to drive up the price.
What other kind of businesses are you in?
Well, I dabble in anything that makes money. You know what I mean? Look, yesterday a friend of mine hit me up that he's a realtor. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually selling a property of mine for like $4 million, and he hit me with this Eureka coin. He said, "Bryon, look at this Eureka coin. It was $1.90.
Get a little bit closer to the mic.
It was $1.90.
You can pull it to you.
Yeah, it was $1.90, and I think he hit me up at about 2 p.m. yesterday, and the last I checked about an hour ago was at $5.50.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've never even heard of Eureka coin.
Neither did I. Well, 99% of the things today I've never heard of.
Yeah.
See, that's why I jump in and out, and then I'll play the wave. And, I'll day trade and I'll make 70, 80 transactions in an hour due to the fact that you never go broke on a profit. So if you can make your little in and out money, just do it.
Right.
Because I don't feel comfortable with any stock unless when you look at the balance sheet, their assets are greater than their debt.